الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم إله الأولين والآخرين وأصلي وأسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين. اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا وزدنا علما. اللهم اجعلنا ممن يستمع القول فيتبع أحسنه. Go back to the book we have started, which is the types of people in Ramadan. We said one of them they are waiting for Ramadan patiently. Some of them, subhanAllah, they comes Ramadan, there's no. Assalamu alaikum, Yeshua. Some other group, Ramadan comes to them, they don't affect nothing like any other time of the year. Some people, they only come in Ramadan, and subhanAllah, this we have few types, and we have mentioned all the way. We're going to see what should we do in Ramadan, what people does. There's a lot of stuff, subhanAllah. Ramadan, they waiting for series and movies and musalsalat, and this encourages the people to do the unlawful thing or the haram things in the month of Ramadan, or to probably they have bigger plan to change the identity of the Muslims and to do it something totally different with the akhlaq and the morals and the manners of Islam. As you know, sinning outside Ramadan is bad. Imagine sinning in Ramadan. Usually they said, according to the people of knowledge, sinning in the Ashur al-Huram, in the sacred month or the special time there like Ramadan and so on, this is bigger sin. As sinning in Mecca is bigger than sinning outside Mecca and the Haram. That's why some of the Sahaba, they used to live outside the border of the Haram. They make salah in the Haram, they live outside. Some of the Sahaba did that. So because sinning, according to the people, some people of knowledge said, sinning in the sacred time or the special time, Ramadan, the sacred month, is some bigger, the sin's bigger and uglier, they want to put it this way, they said. So as you know, this the month of Ramadan, the shayateen are chained and the gates of Jannah are open and the gates of hellfire closed and shut down, and every day they are caller, he said, "O seeker of goods, come forward," and the seeker of evil move away, turn away or move away. So definitely sinning in the month of Ramadan, probably for example, seeing something haram, watching something haram, or saying something haram does not invalidate the siyam, but at least will reduce the ajr, the reward for the siyam. We have to be careful. And some of them, they take all the reward for siyam. Doesn't mean you have to break your fast or just not to fast, but definitely, as Rasul said, رُبَّ صَائِمْ لَيْسَ لَهُ مِنْ صِيَامِهِ إِلَّا الْجُوعِ. Some people, they fast, they get nothing beside out of their siyam beside getting hungry and thirsty. So we have to be careful with this. So meaning there's no reward for the siyam. This is scary hadith. We have to be careful. So, and by doing things haram, basically you diverted away from the main purpose of siyam, which is taqwa Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Where's the piety? Where's the righteousness? Where's the God-fearing? So we need to understand this is, you have not fulfilled the main purpose of siyam, which is the taqwa of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Ramadan time, to utilize the time, every second of it by being obedient to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and any form of worship, dhikr, Quran, salah, qiyam, maintaining the ties of kinship, doing good, help the poor and the needy and the widows and masakeen, command for good and forbid the evil, as much as qiyam and night, dua, all this, subhanAllah, this is the month of Ramadan. It's not for anything else. As you know, the month of Ramadan, the days of Ramadan comes quick, as the life in general goes quick. Imagine a month. So basically you are unjust to yourself more than anyone else when you do not take advantage of the time of Ramadan. So subhanAllah, imagine, they said some people, they should not waste your time with something lawful, something okay to do. It's not, it's mubah. Mubah means something you're not sinning and you're not rewarded for it. This mubah. There's no sin reward. So they said Ramadan, it's not recommended to do this. Let alone imagine wasting your time with something haram. It's condemned. The scholars, the people of now said this is condemned. They condemn this. This is condemned when you do not utilize your time with the right thing. Imagine when you waste the time with the haram thing. We have to be very careful with this. And siyam again is not only abstaining from eating and drinking. It's more than that. There's a fasting for the limbs, jawarih, basically even the heart has to be purified, the intention has to be better, and to leave everything is not beneficial in the hereafter. الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم mentioned الحديث said من لم يدع قول الزور والعمل به والجهل فليس لله حاجة أن يدع طعامه وشرابه. He said if you don't leave the haram, the lying and the false statements and so on, there's no need for you, he said, to leave your food and drink. Doesn't mean you're going to break your fast. I'm not going to say something. Basically, you decide I'm not going to be doing as good. Let me then, I don't have to fast. So not that, but he's warning us, you don't want to lose the reward for the siyam. As we know, the reward for siyam, one of the biggest rewards you can get. As Rasulullah have hid the reward for siyam. When he mentioned the hadith, everything, the reward for is mentioned 10 to 70 to 700 times. But the siyam said, this is mine and I should reward for it. So we have to be very careful. So the purpose of siyam, not to get thirsty and hungry again, not just to tell people I'm fasting, but after that, which is to restrain yourself against the haram desires, against the nafs, which is command us to do haram or to say haram. So the thing is, this is what we need to focus on. And Ramadan also, you find a lot of people, subhanAllah, they waste so much when it comes to food. Allah said, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا وَلَا تُسْرِفُوا إِنَّهُ أي Allah لَا يُحِبُّ الْمُسْرِفِينَ. Said, eat and drink, but do not waste. Allah doesn't like the one who wastes. Allah doesn't like the one who wastes. And Ramadan, subhanAllah, is supposed to eat less, not more. So we're supposed to eat less. And matter of fact, to feel like the hunger, to feel the thirsty, feel things like this. But again, regrettably or unfortunately, the people in the month of Ramadan, became like a culture to prepare the best plates, the best type of foods in Ramadan. There's special food, special dessert for Ramadan. In every culture, in every Muslim culture, there's things that's only for Ramadan. They call it tabaq Ramadan, the plate for Ramadan, the dish for Ramadan, right? So that's the issue. So it's not, Ramadan is not for like having feast and all the stuff, subhanAllah, and throw half of it in the trash. Believe me, this is something defeat the purpose of Ramadan. Is not buying so much stuff for the month of Ramadan, which is wasting. I'm not saying you shouldn't buy, you shouldn't eat. You can. And you could eat something nicer, but do not waste the food. And do not waste the food, and do not waste the time preparing the food for that. As remember, we have mentioned the statement, beautiful statement by Imam Zuhri, rahimahullah, when he said Ramadan about reciting the Quran and feeding, giving the food, feeding the ta'am al-ta'am. So, I mean, giving the food, iftar sa'im, because when you give iftar to a sa'im person, whether he rich or poor, of course, the rich get double the reward or more reward because he's poor. But any sa'im, any person fasting, you can give him food. As long as he's not going to waste it, then as you get the same reward as he getting it, which is as you getting the reward for his siyam without decreasing or without him losing the reward for the siyam. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned also eat less. This is what things recommended in Ramadan. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam have mentioned in the hadith, he said, the worst container you ever filled is your stomach. Eat moderate, eat something, be like in a way, eat something, enjoy the food, but make sure not something to stop you from enjoying your salah, your ibadah, or stopping you from even doing the ibadah totally. Because the more you eat, the less you focus on the ibadah, the less you're able to stay awake, make you sleepy, and you be all what you think about eating more and think about what we're gonna do tomorrow. So we have to always be some kind of conservative with things like this, and beside wasting, which is something condemned. And subhanAllah, this is nowadays, Ramadan became to compete between the families who make more food, who have better food, who serve better food, and so on. And all this, subhanAllah, takes away from the ta'ah and the ibadah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Beside the things, when you waste food, subhanAllah, in the dunya, the hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abi Juhayfa radiyallahu anhu قال إن أكثر الناس شبعا في الدنيا أكثرهم جوعا يوم القيامة. He said the one who fill their stomach in the dunya the most, they will be more hungry in the hereafter. Of course, the one who basically the one who wastes mainly and overdoing it. Abu Juhayfa said after he narrated the hadith, he never have full stomach in his life. This hadith authentic by Sahahu al-Imam al-Albani rahimahullah. Besides, like I said, will take you away from the reading Quran and other stuff, because it became the main goal for you. Become, if you always think about food, become this is the only thing you're thinking of, making food and making more food, make the wife and the mother and so on busy all day long preparing the food for everyone. Sufyan Thawri rahimahullah said, if you want to have healthy body and sleep less, mean eat this, he should eat less. So they made the thing, because too much sleep is not good, wasting time. They said you have to sleep 8 hours a day. Who said that? So, or 10 hours or 7, no such a thing. No Sahaba, Tabi'een, or scholars sleep 8 hours a day. There's too much time to waste. And I said, so the more you eat, the lazier you are. So the less you eat, the more energetic you are. So if you want to be healthy, you want to sleep less with healthy, being healthy, is eat less. Besides, one of the consequences of eating too much will cause the heart to be in heedlessness. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, he said a statement, a scary statement, he said, have you ever seen someone with soft heart? And he had a soft heart, he said, never meets, never can be with someone have full stomach. So the less you eat, the softer your heart is. When you have full stomach and overdoing it with food and dessert and drink and all this stuff, then believe me, you're not going to feel anyone. And that's why a lot of fundraisers, they do it when people are fasting. They feel the starvation of the others. They give more. Some fundraiser guy, the guest speaker, said, believe me, make the fundraiser before you serve the food. Make the food the last thing to serve. Because people, when they're hungry, they're softer in heart. They give more. They feel it, subhanAllah. And also one of the things, they said the Muslimin, the Ramadan, when you're hungry, one of like the wisdom, they said. Of course, we said the main purpose, taqwa, the main purpose is a pillar of Islam. It's mandatory upon us to fast. And also one of the wisdoms, siyam, to feel the others. Feel that there's other people around the world, they are in need to eat, and they are hungry and starving. And remember, they have right upon us. All right. Okay, also this one I mentioned here, one of the mistakes people fall into. Now we're going to go to the main thing in the book, which is the mukhalafat, they said, which some people, when they see someone drinking water, someone's forced that when he forgets and eat or drink, they don't get his attention. They leave him drink till the end. This is totally against the deen. When you see someone drinking by mistake, you should remind him. Don't say haram. This is not the one who Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at'amahu Allah. Remind him immediately, said, you are fasting. So, because really, the thing is, as Shaykh bin Baz rahimahullah have mentioned, he said, when you see a Muslim eating or drinking Ramadan, nasiyan, and he forgot, it's mandatory upon you to remind him that's to stop. Because this is something munkar. When someone eats and drinks Ramadan openly, this is munkar, this is against the deen. This is something forbidden. So even if someone traveling, right, he can break his fast, but he's not supposed to do it openly. Getting a coffee and drink and feast. You can drink and eat, drink, but not do it openly, because this encourages others to break the rules and to break their fasting and so on. So this is, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam even mentioned the hadith, and the hadith said, whoever forgot and ate or drink, this is a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah have fed him. Allah have given him water. But when you see him, you must remind him, because otherwise other people will be like, in a way, doing it openly in public, and this is not the sunnah. As one of the main things in our deen, said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت الناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. Said you are the best ummah ever brought to mankind. You command for good and forbid the evil. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned the hadith, he said, "Man ra'a minkum munkaran falyughayyirhu biyadihi." If you see something evil, you should change with your hand. If you cannot, you should mention something, say something about it, so it could be date change or so on. He said, فَإِن لَمْ يَسْتَطِعْ فَبِقَلْبِهِ. If you cannot, at least deny it or reject it in your heart. And this, he said, the weakest level of iman. So the moment the person eats or drinks, this is munkar. This is wrong, subhanAllah. So you have to remind him. Either, like let's say, you have your son, hold him. Someone else tell him, hey, you drink is haram, siyam. Or remind him. So if you cannot say anything, at least deny it or reject it in your heart. So that's the thing, one of the things people make mistakes by not mentioning or reminding the people who ate or drink by mistake. And matter of fact, if you ate by mistake, you have a bite in your mouth, you have to, when you remember, you have to spit it out. You can't say, oh, it's already in my mouth. You can't. The moment you remember, whether water or food, you have to spit it out immediately in the middle of the day. If you do not, if you forget, there's no problem at all. But our wajib is mandatory upon us to remind them. They says you are fasting and so on. جزاكم الله خير. We'll stop right here, inshallah.